Is going on? Happy Sunday, everybody. This is going to be probably the most important thing. Just want to make sure that I'm not on Wi-Fi. This is going to be the most important thing that you're going to hear all year. I said in the title all month, but this is going to be probably one of those things, whether you get it right now, you understand it, which it's easy to understand conceptually, but then when it actually happens, you're going to say, oh, that's what Charles was talking about. So let's just get right into it. It's a Sunday. Last Sunday, I was actually doing Ironman Connecticut. So Ironman Connecticut, it was challenging, it was fun, it was exhilarating, it was hot out, I had to push myself, blah, blah, blah. And anytime that you actually compete in an event, any athletes, anything like that, or even if you've just, you've been studying for a test for so long, and then you take that test the day after, you feel this weird emptiness because you went your whole, so a lot of people actually go through a depression when this happens. You talk about all the astronauts that went to the moon in 1969, they all were like, what are we going to do now? Like, what's the next step? You went a whole decade just to do one thing and it happened. And then what do you say? You're like, what do I do? There's a lot of players that their identity's wrapped up in sports and then they're done with that. And then they have this depression afterwards. So for me, that's why I needed something else. And that's why David Goggins talks about that there is no end. I hate the word, it's a journey. It sounds so like, yeah, let's go play the violin. That's very corny to me. It's more on, there is no end until you die. So really it is. And you have to always think about dying, okay? For all the people that are just thinking in their mind, they're like, well, it's a little bleak and I just want to enjoy myself. That's the opposite of nihilism because it's like hedonism where you're just enjoying things just very in the moment. I don't care about my health or my money, my expenses or my family or things like that, or waking up tomorrow hungover. I'm just going to go at it. So this is going to be the most important thing that you're going to hear. So I had my Ironman last Sunday, and then obviously it's 70 miles. It was a half Ironman, so it's 70 miles. A full Ironman is 140 miles. And I was sore on Monday. Okay, so I took the day off. On Tuesday, I went to the gym. Did I go to the gym class? I did. I went to gym class, but my right hamstring wasn't feeling that good. So I was like, all right, you know what? Instead of injuring myself, I'm going to take another day off. Bad idea. Not a good idea. I know myself. I am all in or I'm all out. That's it. There is no gray area. It's not like I go between the shallow end and the deep end. It's like I jump in or I'm not in at all. I'm on the sideline or I'm in the game. And the problem with me is that when I'm not in the game, I'm not in the game at all. It's not like I'm half-assing it at workouts. I just don't even work out. I just get into that, and then your brain is so smart. Your brain is smart. So obviously there's two things. There's the ego, which is safety and comfort, and what are other people going to think? Don't do that. That's outside of your comfort zone. And then there's the self, which some people could call even further, which is maybe inside of you, God, universe, source, power, whatever, capital S self, which is your true nature. There's an incredible Nietzsche quote that I heard Jordan Peterson say yesterday, and I'm not going to even butcher it, but it's on an email, so you'll see it be posted to my social media. But essentially is that the truth hurts, and the more that you can actually hear the truth, the better it is. Okay? So in other words, the truth is you're not going to the gym. The truth is the race was Sunday and you're still not working out, or you're still not making calls, or you're still not doing what you need to do. So this is what I'm getting to in the video, is that you have two types of confidence, or you can internalize two types of true confidence. Number one is you see progress. So if you're working out and you see that you're losing weight, if you're making calls and you see that business is coming in, if you are single and you're looking to date and you start approaching pretty girls and you start seeing progress, that gives you confidence to do more. The opposite of that is the winner effect. It's parallel, but progress essentially is little minute things. But the winner effect is that you're winning, that you are closing deals, that you are getting into relationships, that you're losing a lot of weight, that you are waking up. So how does the winner effect? That's what we're going to be talking about today. You've already heard about it, but this is the most important thing that you will hear, and it clicked again for me, is that the reason that some people don't have confidence is because maybe they've seen progress. It's not that. It's just that they don't keep promises to themselves. So if you're on a balance, I would say if you keep promises to yourself 75% of the time, I would put it even higher, 80% of the time, your confidence is going to be high, but you're going to start going further and further. That's the winner effect. The winner effect essentially says, I'm going to wake up and you wake up early. I'm going to make calls and you make calls. That is, and essentially, and I know Chris was talking about it on the last live, that he was saying, that visualization really is really helpful, which I sort of agree. And there's obviously a massive amount of people that have done that, from Conor McGregor to a lot of actors and actresses that have said, I've been dreaming about this, or that baseball player or football player that said, since a little kid, I've been thinking about, winning the Super Bowl or World Series, or hockey players lifting the Stanley Cup. So visualization is key. This is the thing, is that during visualization, why it didn't work for me, this is why it didn't work for me. As it says, 20% battery left. It didn't work for me because I wasn't keeping promises to myself. So I was visualizing, and it's better when it's emotional, it's vivid. You are feeling where exactly you are, where you want to be. And the thing is, there was that little nagging voice, that little ego in the back of your head that says, dude, you don't actually believe this. This isn't gonna happen, bro. What are you doing, bro? I'm a billionaire. And then that little stupid fucking voice in the back of your head, dude, you had debt. You have debt. No way you're gonna build a company like that. That little thing is the 25% of the time that you're not keeping promises to yourself. That little nagging thing that says, you said you were going to wake up early, but you didn't wake up early. You snoozed the alarm, you slept in, and you didn't go to the gym. What I'm getting at is that keeping promises to yourself, the smallest thing, going back to Atomic Habits. So I truly believe this is the series of events, now that I'm actually thinking about it. I feel like I'm very in Jordan Peterson mode right now, where I'm piecing together a couple of things. So the essentially progress. So the bottom is Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits could be, and the reason he named it Atomic Habits, if you don't know, is that atomic could be massive, like hydrogen bomb, massive, or atomic is the smallest little thing. So it's big habits and small little things, small little particles that lead to big things. So this is the thing, is that if you start really, really small, the creator of Dilbert, Scott Adams, said that to keep the promise to himself, hear what he said, to keep the promise to himself that he goes to the gym every single day, there's times he drives to the gym, walks into the gym, and walks out and drives home. Doesn't even work out. Doesn't even work out. The dude just drives to the gym and just walks in and out. Why? Consistency is key. Keeping promises to yourself is key. So the bottom is make it very, very small. Make one call. That's it. That's it. Don't make two. Say your maximum and your minimum is one call. Just say hi, or ask for directions from a pretty girl. That's it, once a day. Hey, listen, does this train go up or downtown? I'm new to New York City. That's it, one time. That's your maximum and that's your minimum, okay? So now we're gonna start going up the ladder. That's it. That's consistency. On top of that is keeping promises to yourself, okay? Then you're gonna start getting wins, okay? Those wins essentially is the winner effect. So you start small, you're going consistent, keeping promises to yourself. You're going and you're getting a winner effect going. And then on top of that, you start seeing progress. I feel like progress is literally the last thing that you're going to see, because you don't see progress after a week of making calls or approaching pretty girls. Yeah, maybe there'll be like one or two, but progress comes after weeks and months and years of doing this. And then over time, you'll start getting the confidence, and you'll say all the way at the top, you say, that's just like me. That's just like me. That is, my friends, identity-based beliefs, identity-based habits, where it actually hurts that you're not waking up and running. You're not actually making calls. You can't call yourself a writer after one sentence or maybe one book. I'm a writer, one book? Not really. I'm an actor. You did one movie? I don't know. You do a couple of movies, couple of books. You put out blog posts for years. You call yourself a blogger. I call myself a prospector because it's been months since I've been actually making calls. The top one is identity-based habits. And when I don't make calls, that hurts my identity. And that, my friends, is the number one thing, is keeping promises to yourself can go one way or the other way. Because if you don't keep promises to yourself and you start visualizing, like I was saying, that little in the back of your neck, this, my friends, right here in the back of right where your spinal cord and your brain meet, there's like a little walnut size, and that is the oldest portion of your brain, okay? That's probably in every portion of anything alive today. I'm not talking about trees. I'm talking about in the mammal kingdom. That is the motor skills. That is the breathing. That is the everything that are just, you're not even thinking about. The unconscious, the breathing, the lungs, the killing and rebirth of cells, the replication of all the good and the bad things in your body that are happening on a daily, monthly, and weekly basis. Start small, add on top of that. And the reason I say this is because Saturday or Friday night, if you saw my stories, I posted a bottle of something, had a nice little friend over, had a good time, woke up, was very lazy on Saturday, didn't work out at all. Then today, I was really masking for sleep. My sleep is my number one self-care habit. But I'm also training for 4 more triathlons this year. I can't lose a weekend. And it was a beautiful weekend. So I did not keep promises to myself. You can hear in my voice how pissed off I am. Tomorrow's supposed to rain in the morning, so I can't even bike ride, so I have to swim instead of bike ride. If you go without keeping promises to yourself, it can only be one day. It cannot be 2 days. Because my identity is now wrapped up in being a triathlete, okay? I now have to start small again. Start at the bottom. Charles, go to the gym. Charles, bike ride. Then you go up and you start seeing, okay, great. You're actually progressing. It's consistency. Then you go above that. Then you start actually seeing progress. Okay, I'm getting faster. I'm getting stronger. Okay, you are back to being a triathlete again. It sucks starting from here again. It blows. It's people that are getting hurt. It's people that maybe they had a disease or they went on vacation for a week and a half and they come back and then they say, oh, wow, this is reality. I have to go back to work, or you're away with your spouse and then you come back. Your life has not changed. This is why I am against the gentleman. He's very intelligent and everything else, but I do not think that something where universal basic income is the answer. The answer is mentally having people, maybe it helps, okay? But actually giving someone the passion that you could hear in my voice, the drive and the vision, that's where people they gain and way more than anything monetary. They gain way more things. I had a little slight moment of passing the finish line. It was that it never ends. It was the hard work going into it. So this week, notice. If you don't want to make promises to yourself because you know you're going to give it up, then don't. If you know you're going out, I'll give you an example. Friday night, I knew I wasn't going to go bike riding in the morning, so I didn't make a promise. But Saturday night, last night, I said, I'm going to go bike riding this morning. Guess what? I made a promise to myself and I did not fulfill it. You can hear the anger in my voice. I actually thrive on two things. I don't thrive on encouragement. I don't want someone to say, Charles, you're awesome. You're great. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I thrive on, I doubt you, Charles, and beating myself up because that says, Charles, that's how I'm raised. Someone else, it's different, okay? I have to say, Charles, you fucking pansy. I'm like, let's go. Guess what? This afternoon, I'm going to go for a one hour run because of that, okay? So the number one thing to the title of this video is the ability to keep promises to yourself is essentially one of the biggest confidence builders that you could have out there. Don't look at the progress because Tony Robbins talks about that. He says progress equals confidence. Progress equals everything. But if you're not actually putting in the work, then consistency is number one. Okay, he's incorrect because you're looking for an outcome. But if I go to the gym for a week and a half, I'm not going to say, yeah, let's run a marathon or half marathon. Yeah, maybe you could complete it, but you're going to be pretty ripped up. The very bottom is atomic habits, which is consistency, which is keeping promises to yourself, which is then seeing progress, and then it's identity-based habits. If you get to that pinnacle where it's identity-based habits, you will be mad when you don't do what you hated to do in the beginning, okay? And then on top of that, and the opposite is true. Let's just go with that, and I'll leave you guys for a Sunday, 10 o'clock. I have some open houses to host. I'm going to go over that really quick. I have a really good friend. Obviously, I'm not going to mention her name, not like she's watching these videos anyway. But she goes out a lot. She's a very pretty girl. She's in her late 20s or, like 27, 28. And she can't find a guy. You know, there's a lot of girls like that, actually. So this could be anyone. And she can't find a guy. But she's going out and she gets slaughtered every time she goes out. Just murders herself with alcohol. And the thing is, what do you really, is that the guys? Or is that you? Are you really looking for a guy seriously? So what I'm saying is that she wants to find a guy. She wants to find a serious guy, but she's not keeping promises to herself because she's going out and getting lit up, okay? So this is what I think is actually going on. She's fooling herself by saying, I want something, okay? So we're in our life, so I'm not even judging her. I'm judging myself or other areas of my life where I say, I want something, but really it's, do you really, Charles? Are you really putting in the effort? Or are you just saying it so you actually feel better about yourself that you're saying you want it and then you're pushing it off till tomorrow? You're saying you really, really are visualizing, but in the back of your neck, the back of your mind, that little walnut size, I don't know if it's the basal ganglia, I think that's what it's called. In the back there, it says, you know what? Just get a little drunk tonight because then you don't have to do anything. You know, watch a little TV tonight because then you don't have to do anything. Go on social media because that means you don't have to do anything. Answer those emails because that means you don't have to do anything. Do all the bullshit little tasks because that means you don't have to make calls or talk to pretty girls or send those tough emails or talk to your spouse or your partner about the things that you really, really need to talk to them about, but you're pushing it out. But you really want it though. You really want it. And the reason I put in quotes is because you feel good by saying you really want it, but guess what? It's been a month or half a year or a year, and you've been saying it, and nothing's been happening, and then you've been beating yourself up. So really, what you should be saying is, I'm not keeping promises to myself. Okay? And I'm numbing it out. That's what I was doing. So instead of actually saying, hey, listen, Charles, you say you want a bike ride every single Saturday, but you're getting drunk on Friday. You're saying that you really want a lot of business, but you're not making any phone calls. So and what was I doing? I was putting all these little tasks in front of me. So it felt good. I did a lot of busy work today. But didn't actually move the pendulum forward. Keep promises to yourself. Understand that it's okay not to make a promise. That's self-awareness, where you say, you know what? I'm going out tonight, or tomorrow's my day off because I've been working my ass off on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you don't have to make any promises. I'm going to enjoy today. Because if you make a promise knowing you're taking a day off, that's not good either, all right? Make promises, keep them. That's the bottom portion of actually any habit building. Consistency is everything. All right, have an amazing Sunday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll probably have a book review